Hello guys, my name's Sam and I'm from the entertainment support team. Using Shogun Live, you can stream your motion capture data into many different real-time engines. Today, we're going to take a look at Unreal Engine 4, Unity, and Motionbuilder. Let's do it.
As you can see, we have our subjects calibrated and ready to be streamed. We're going to stream directly into UE4 using no retargeting middleware. This means that the FBX we're streaming to will need to be rigged using the same bone naming conventions as the skeletal solve we're outputting into the data stream. The first step will be to install the plugin for your version of Unreal Engine 4. The most up-to-date plugin should be available on the website. However, if you require a plugin for a previous version, please get in contact with the support team on support@vicon.com. Inside of the downloaded file, you'll find two folders, Plugin and Source. These files will need to be copied into the appropriate version's engine directory on your machine. This directory can be seen here. I already have the plugin installed, so I won't bother replacing the files. Once the plugin has been installed, you can hop over to the Epic Game Launcher and launch your engine of choice. In this example, I'm going to be using a level designed within UE 4.15. Now that we're inside the editor, the first thing to do is to import your chosen character FBX. Right-click in the content browser and navigate to Import. Find and choose your FBX. Within the FBX import options, ensure that Convert Scene is unticked. The rest of the settings can be left at default. Now that your character has been imported, we can create an animation blueprint for it. Right-click in the content browser and browse to Animation, Animation Blueprint. Choose the skeleton for the mesh you've just imported and click OK. It's a good idea to rename this animation blueprint to something obvious. In this case, I'm going to name it mocap ABP. Open up the animation blueprint you've just created and drag from Result into an empty space. In the resulting dialog box, choose Echidna Solved Skeleton. The first step is to enter the server. This would usually be the IP address that you're streaming from. However, in this case, I'm actually streaming from the same machine, so I'm going to use localhost. The port number from Shogun Live will always be 801, and the subject name will need to be spelt exactly as it is in the subjects panel inside of Shogun Live. The latest change to the data stream means that it now actually streams in millimeters rather than centimeters. As Unreal Engine is expecting centimeters, we'll have to adjust the unit conversion appropriately down to 0.1. Finally, we are actually streaming in ZUp, so we'll need to make sure that isStreamYup is unchecked. Once all of these details have been entered, you should now be able to hit compile and see that the live streamed animation is being retargeted onto your mesh. You're now free to drag the asset into the level. I would recommend setting the asset's location transform to 000. This is really helpful for organization purposes should you actually require more than one subject in the level. As you can see, it's using the correct skeletal mesh as well as the correct animation class. I'm actually going to quickly apply a shader for this mesh that we created earlier. You should now be able to hit play within the editor and observe the data being streamed to the character in real time within your level. And it's as easy as that. The next real-time engine that we're going to be looking at is Unity. You are able to stream props directly into Unity, however currently not skeletal data. This will need to be retargeted using middleware such as Pegasus for the moment. The plugin for Unity can be found in the install directory of Pegasus. It's recommended to copy the plugin project folder from program files into a directory of your choice. This is because often you'll find that you won't actually have write privileges inside of the program files. In this particular case, I've copied the plugin folder to the desktop. If you now navigate inside the assets folder and open up the Unity project called Vicon Test, a scene will open up and you'll be displayed with the test FBX. If you select the asset in the hierarchy, you'll see a script component that's been added to the FBX called Program. This is a C# script to read the data in from the data stream and retarget. If we open up this script in Visual Studio, we can understand a bit more about how it works. The first thing to be aware of is the port number that you're streaming from. If you're streaming directly, Shogun Live will stream over 801, whilst if you're using Pegasus, it will stream over 802. Ensure that this is changed here to match your needs. The second thing to be aware of is the name of the subject itself. The script is actually set up to automatically collect the subject name from the data stream. However, if you have more than one subject, this can be changed manually here. With your FBX and the script ready set up in Unity, it's now time to open Pegasus. The first thing to check inside of Pegasus is the server settings. I'm streaming directly from the Shogun Live machine, so I'll input localhost. Ensure that the port number is set correctly and hit ping server. This gives you some quick feedback to ensure that Pegasus is able to communicate over the network. You should now be able to hit import character from datastream to import a single frame from the datastream. The next step is to navigate to File, Import, and import in the same character FBX that you've used in Unity. Select a bone from the FBX and a bone from the skeletal data. Navigate to the panel along the top and choose Associate Character. This will create constraints between every bone automatically, provided it has the correct naming convention. At this point, any manual editing of the FBX can be done to further match the skeletal data. In this example, I'll run through this process quite quickly. However, take more time if accuracy is important. Finally, I will select a foot bone from the FBX and the skeletal data and add a snap feet to source task. This is going to help with more accurate foot placement. You should now be able to hit play and get a preview of the retarget in the viewport. Hitting play also begins streaming over the data stream. We are now able to return to Unity. You should be able to hit play and immediately observe our character receiving the retargeted animation. The next real-time option that we're going to look at will be Motionbuilder. The Motionbuilder plugin can be found on the website. It will contain a simple installer which will install the device for you. Once the device has been installed, open up Motionbuilder and navigate to Devices and Vicon Stream Device within the Resources panel. Simply drag the Vicon device into the scene. Ensure that the server address is set correctly, as well as the port and orientation. In this case, I'll be streaming directly from the Shogun Live machine, so I'll use localhost. The port will always be 801, and our orientation is ZUp. When you're happy this is correct, click the Online checkbox and create a new model binding from the dropdown. This should immediately begin streaming the skeletal data from Shogun Live. Find a frame where the subject is in a T-pose and click Pause Live Stream. From the Resources panel, navigate to Characters and Character. Drag the character onto the hips of your skeletal data. Choose Characterize followed by Biped. Now that our skeletal data has been characterized, we can now bring in our character FBX. Navigate to File and Merge and locate your chosen FBX. Rotate the FBX joints to more closely match the skeletal data. I'll be doing this process very quickly, but if a more accurate retarget is required, then much more time should be spent on this. Navigate back to the Resources panel and perform the same operation we did for the skeletal data. Drag a character onto the hips of the FBX and select Characterize followed by Biped. With the characterization complete, we can now navigate to Character Controls, select the character to be the FBX, and select the source to be the skeletal data. Lastly, navigate back to the Vicon Stream device and click Resume Live Stream. Observe as the skeletal data is retargeted in real time to your character FBX.